So now we get to the fun part of chapter 3, which is applications, right? So we've learned how to solve a system of equations. Now we have to learn how to set up a system of equations based on an application and then how to solve that application, which you already know how to do. So whenever you're solving any kind of application, your first step is to read the question. When you're reading the question, you're going to identify what type of application you're solving for. So there's going to be 4 types in this chapter. And then you're going to identify the things that you're solving for. It's always that last sentence so that you can assign variables. And this time in chapter 3, you're allowed to have 2 unknown variables. It may help you to make a sketch or a diagram or a table to help you assign these variables, but that's only as needed. Then you're going to write your system of equations into variables and you're going to solve it either by elimination or substitution, and then you're going to make sure that the answer you get is reasonable, and then word questions, word answers, or a very clear answer. Okay, so the first type of application we're going to look at is a perimeter. A rectangular soccer field has a perimeter, right? You'll see that word in the question, of 360 yards. Its length is 20 yards more than its width. What are its dimensions? Okay, so for this one, when I'm reading it, I read through, I've identified it as a perimeter type of question, and now I'm going to assign 2 variables. Now to figure that out, you're going to read your last sentence. It says, what are its dimensions? Well, we're talking about a rectangular soccer field, okay? So it's a shape like this. You have a length and a length and a width and a width. So your dimensions are going to be width and length. And we always let width be W and length be L. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set up our system of equations. So when we read this, there's going to be 2 sentences, and each sentence will get its own equation. So the first sentence is a rectangular perimeter, or a rectangular soccer field has a perimeter of 360 yards. What does that mean? Well, how do you find the perimeter of a rectangle? Right? You can look on your formula sheet, first page, or know that perimeter is the distance around a shape. So in this shape, you have 2 lengths and 2 widths. That is the perimeter of this shape. So my first equation is going to be that 2L plus 2W is equal to 360. You don't include units in your equations. Then the second equation is that the length is 20 yards more than the width. Does that feel familiar? So 20 yards more than the width would be width plus 20. 20 yards more than the width. That's my system of equations. Now you're going to solve this either by substitution or elimination. When I look at this one, this is a really nice one for elimination. So I would take this W plus 20 and I would substitute it in for the L in the other equation. So this is going to give me 2 times W plus 20 plus 2W is equal to 360. Then I'm going to simplify. So I'm going to distribute and get 2W plus 40 plus 2W is equal to 360. Then I'm going to simplify further by collecting like terms. 4W plus 40 is equal to 360. Then I want to get the 4W by itself, so I'm going to minus 40 from each side. I end up with 4W is equal to 320, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 4. I end up with W is equal to 80. Always, once you've solved for one of the variables, you're going to take it and you're going to substitute it in to solve for the second variable. You would end up with L is equal to 80 plus 20, which is 100. So then your choice, you can either say, therefore, the dimensions are. Now you don't have to specify length and width because I set this up. Well, I guess you could. Yeah, for this one it is specific. So therefore, the dimensions are length is 100 yards and width is 80 yards. But again, I'm also really happy to look here and go width is 80, length is 100. So somewhere you've stated the solution clearly that you know what you meant. Awesome. All right, so I only gave one example of that because I think they're all kind of like that. Yeah, good luck.